Let me get my lights on. Good morning, all. How are we? Welcome TikTok, welcome Facebook, welcome YouTube. Are we all good this morning? It is Wednesday, the 20th of, Wednesday, the 20th of August, 2025. Yes. Flying towards a bank holiday. I keep forgetting it's bank holiday weekend. I remember do you remember the last bank holiday weekend? I do. It was about 2 months ago. Anyway, end of May, I was like, it always feels like when you have that last bank holiday, they all come up once, don't they, bank holiday weekends. You get Easter, first one in May, second one in May, and then the one in August just feels like it's miles away. And then it's like this weekend, yeah. So everyone looking forward to a long bank holiday weekend, or hopefully you get a long bank holiday weekend. I know there'll be some people go, oh, I have to work over the weekend. But anyway, hopefully for a few of you, you'll be getting a nice bank holiday weekend. Hopefully the weather holds out. It's a lot colder at the moment. It's a lot colder. Jumper on this morning. It's definitely a lot cooler at the moment, but the weather is not it's still dry. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Dry weather is all that matters. Anyway, we're nearly halfway through the working week. Like I say, heading towards a long weekend. How's your weight loss week gone so far? A mixed bag for me. I don't know if this is psychological. I don't know why. But I weighed in at the weekend and I'm like, I'm at my target for this year. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to have a couple of weeks off weight loss. Like, I'm going to just up my calories a little bit. I'm going to up my calories, not with unhealthy food. I'm going to up my calories. Remember, there's no unhealthy foods, but, I'm not going to just go, oh, I've got an extra 3,500 calories. I'll eat what I want this week. Let's have a pizza on a Tuesday night. Papa John's on a Tuesday night. I was going to up my calories by massively increasing my protein by having a couple of protein shakes a day. Just don't want them. I just don't want, I don't know if I've just got to a point where I'm just used to eating the calories. Well, I am used to eating the calories I'm eating. I've got full calorie control. And it's always nice to have food freedom every now and then. And I've just had it last week. I had still in a calorie deficit, but I had an extra 1,500 calories last week than what I normally have. And this week, and on Monday, my full thing was, right, I'm going to have a big protein shake in the morning or mid-afternoon, one in the evening, just 200-300 calorie protein shakes a day, just to up my calories, up my protein a bit. So, I'm just didn't, I made a shake on Monday and I was like, I don't want it. I'm not hungry. And I'm not going to force food down my neck if I'm not hungry. So calories were 1,682 on Monday. 2,000 yesterday. So I upped them. They were up yesterday. But looking back, that's kind of roughly what I've been doing. And I also think as well, because I've got a holiday a week on Friday, I always like to, whether I'm in a weight loss phase or weight gain phase, when I was not a weight gain phase, I've never been in a weight gain phase. Well, I have, but subconsciously been in a weight gain phase. But 3-4 weeks before I go on holiday, I'm always kind of on it. Now, we had a weekend off kind of this weekend, a weekend out with friends. But yeah, I'm still like, I know next week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the week after, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, is going to be a fairly calorific few days. So I'm like, I don't want any more calories at the moment. So I've kind of changed my tact. I'm just kind of running with it at the moment. If I end up having a hungry day, I'll eat probably a bit more and maybe get some extra protein shakes in. But other than that, I'm just cracking on the way I'm cracking on. So, according to that, weight loss is still probably going to happen. But like I say, next week, I was going to track Friday up until going. So we're leaving for the airport. We should get to the airport for about 4:30 in the afternoon. And I was going to track my breakfast, track my lunch, and this and other. I'm not. So I've decided next week I'm going to track Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Friday, I'm not going to track. Saturday, Sunday, I'm not going to track. Monday, Tuesday, I'm not going to track. Now, we travel home Wednesday, not going to track. Thursday, I will start again. So I'm not going to wait until the following Monday. I will track again Thursday. So when I get back to on the Thursday, back to work, Rachel's back to work, back into a routine. So I'm kind of having 3 days off next week and 3 days off the week after. how am I going to handle those weeks next week? So next week, I'm just going to track Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and just have a normal week up to that time, see where I get to, try and bank some calories, and then just not track Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The week after, I was talking about laying a foundation, starting the week off right. Well, my diary's going to be empty Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? So what am I going to do? I think what I'm going to do that week is I'm just going to track Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and not really I'm going to have normal Thursday, Friday where I eat below my average calories. And then I'm going to have a normal Saturday, Sunday where I eat above my average calories. But I'm not going to worry too much about being in too much of a deficit or trying to chase my tail, catch time. I've eaten 5,000. I burn 24,000 calories a week. Let's say I have 5,000 calories Monday, 5,000 calories Tuesday because it's my birthday, 5,000 calories Wednesday when we're traveling home, and we'll probably end up with a takeaway Wednesday night or something like that, right, to end the holiday. Well, that's 15,000. That gives me 9,000 calories. Now, that'd be just over 2,000 calories a day. So I could, so I could do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and end up in a bit of a deficit that week, or certainly maintenance. If I did 2,000, I'd be in 1,000 calorie deficit at the end of the week. But I'm not going to worry about it too much. It'll be the following Monday where I'm fully back into it. But I want to track. Anyway, that's my plans. Plans can change. You're all good with that, right? Let's do top 5 on TikTok this morning. Let's see who's in. Remember, guys, this is a Weight Loss Live. If you've got any questions, get them in. I will do my best to answer them. Callum's in at number 1. Lou's in at number 2. Jackie's in at number 3. Faye's in at number 4. And Sheila is in at number 5. Good morning, guys. You're my top 5 this morning. Thank you very much, as always. Jumping straight to the live, coming and saying hello. Charlotte, thank you very much for the gift. Like I say, you always never need to, but it's always much appreciated when you send one. Helen, good morning. Michael's in, morning, May, Nikki, Donna, Becky, Kelly. A lot of E's at the end of the days this morning. Morning. Busy day work with meetings and 10,000 steps nearly boxed off. Faye is on it. Superb, Faye. Fantastic. Stefan's in, good morning. It's freezing. It has been a bit cold the last couple of days here. It's not even been... Well, yesterday, it was a bit dull, and I had a T-shirt on, and I ended up putting a gilet on, put the old gilet on, which was my North Face, Summit 700, which is a pretty damn warm gilet, but obviously your arms are out. I thought, Joe, I'm a bit chilly. I won't go and grab a top like this. I'll just stick this gilet. I was absolutely sweating. Right, so that was a mistake. Anyway... it is a bit colder. Plus, I'm sat here with the door wide open because I don't really actually need the door wide open because the dogs are very chill. They're both absolutely flat out because they've been playing since 7 o'clock this morning. But I'm very much glad with my jumper. What plans do you offer and how do they work? I read that law over there. What plans do you offer and do they work? Yes, they do work, but I won't be the judge of that. Ask the people in the chat that are on plan. They'll tell you if they work or not. So what plans do I offer? I offer one plan, right? It's one plan. I don't offer different plans. I offer different ways of paying, but my plan is my plan. So my plan is based around calories and everyday movement. There's no exercise, right? If you want to add some exercise into your everyday lifestyle, I recommend it, but I don't ask you to because a lot of my clients that come on board aren't even doing the basics with movement. They're not even doing enough day-to-day movement, let alone thinking about exercise. I did a little video this week. In terms of movement, if you're going to prioritize something, prioritize steps. And then going for exercise is the cream on top. And eventually, I'd like all my clients to be doing a decent amount of steps every day and doing a couple of bits of exercise a week. But let's start at the beginning and work forward. So my plan is based around calorie control and everyday movement. Right? It's very simple. It's very straightforward. I will also help guide you on improving your eating, structuring your diet, structuring the way you eat to support controlling appetite, but also to improve your overall health, right? Now, I'm not a health freak. I'm not a health guru, as it were. I don't want to be. I want to be healthy. I do not want to be the healthiest person in the world, right? And there is a balance, right? I also promote which is a big part of adherence to diet, is still enjoying life. So I teach you how to do weight loss while enjoying life at the same time. There has to be some compromise with that. But, there's no need to have the Last Supper. So Gemma, that's just morning Gemma, by the way, on Facebook. Gemma's just signed up yesterday. She's been coming on my lives a little bit and asking a few questions. And Gemma's had some big weight loss success in the past, but she has rebounded and put a bit of that back on, or all of it back on. So what we're going to do with Gemma is the fact that Gemma's lost a lot of weight in the past is fantastic, and that means she's got the ability to have the mental aptitude to lose weight. We just need to get her to put that into a healthy, sustainable plan like mine that's going to teach you long-term habits. That's what my plan's all about. What you do on my plan, when you start on my plan, you'll still be doing it in 10 years' time, or you should be doing it in 10 years' time. The only thing that will actually change is the amount of calories that you eat. You should still be prioritizing protein, prioritizing fiber, looking at a bit of a calorie structure, still controlling your calories. So if you don't do that, you're going to gain your weight back, and we don't want to do that. When you start my plan, we'll put you into a calorie deficit. Once you get to your goal, I'll teach you how to go into a calorie maintenance to maintain your losses. Yeah. So that's what my plan does. So you get sent a plan, simple, straightforward. You check in with me you follow the plan, stick to the calories, structure your calories correctly, work on improving your eating, try and hit your step targets that I give you, and they're all very achievable for you. Right, you then check in with me every couple of weeks, send all the bits and pieces over that I asked for. I update your progress sheet. I then send you help, feedback, advice. Could just be a pat on the back every 2 weeks, depending on how you're doing. You only really need me when you're struggling, right? And I get clients that come on board and they just hit the ground running and get stuck into the plan. And because it is healthy and sustainable and straightforward to follow, they just continuously lose. And next thing they're towards their goal. I do get clients that do that. I then get other clients that have more severe eating issues and more severe troubles, and those are the clients that or I'll get some clients that do amazing for a few months and then start to struggle. I get some clients that struggle from the beginning and then do amazing for a few. There's always swings and roundabouts with it. It's not a straightforward journey, weight loss. We know that. So so get signed up to the plan, guys. It's 15 quid at the moment to sign up. It's then $29.99 a month for a minimum of 3 months. That's for a 3 months commitment. So you'll pay $29.99, 15 quid now. I'll get you going on Monday. $29.99 in September, one in October, one in November. You pretty much covered all the way up to Christmas. If after the 3 months you want to continue with me, you can work with me for the next 10 years. As long as I'm still working in 10 years, right? You can work with me for the next 10 years. But after 3 months, it becomes a rolling contract. So you're not tied into anything. You can cancel whenever you want to. All right. So if you sign up today, you'll get a consultation form. You fill that in, you send it over to me, which Gemma did yesterday. I will write your plan up. You should have it by Friday tea time at the latest. If you get your plan over, if you get your consultation form over by mid-afternoon today, I'll get it to you by tomorrow tea time. You've then got a couple of days to read through your plan, get everything sort of simple, set up, straightforward, ready to go for Monday. And then you also get access to my WhatsApp 24/7. So if you need me at any point, so although you're not going to do your first check-in till a week on Friday, 11 days after you start on plan, if you need me on Monday, message me. If you need me on Tuesday, I'm here for you. Right? I'm always here for you. Also, as part of my plan, you get access to my community. In the community, we've got a private Facebook group. We've got a private WhatsApp community. The WhatsApp community, Gemma, mute the WhatsApp community. I recommend that to everyone that starts. Mute the WhatsApp community. What I mean by muting it is just mute notifications, right? Just go in, mute it, yeah? We have a general chit-chat group. There's a lot of people in the community. It's very busy, and your phone will never stop pinging. But you don't need to be involved in it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can be if you want to be, but you can just delve into the community as and when. You can just come in at night time. Hi, guys, how's your day been? General chit-chat group. Jump in the recipes group, at the recipe and food group that we have at lunchtime. This is what I've had for my dinner. This is how I made it. Someone else will pop in. Oh, I'll have that tomorrow for my dinner. So we have a recipes and food group. We then have a weight loss Q&A group. So you can go in there and ask any questions in there. You might ask the community in there. Hi, guys, just signed up to plan. What's everyone's favourite breakfast, or hi guys, just signed up to plan. How does everyone get their steps in? I'm struggling a little bit. Oh, well, I do it. I get up in the morning and do it. Oh, I do it on my lunch break, or I do it, I split it up into 10-minute sections several times throughout the day because I can't walk too far because I've got mobility issues. Yeah, there's all sorts. That's it. 15 quid and then 29.99 a month going forward. Now, I did say there's 2 ways to pay for my plan. You can pay 15 quid. The community is amazing, but yeah, I get what you mean. So that's what I say. When you sign up to plan, it literally says that. I recommend muting the community, right? Mute it straight away because it does ping a lot, right? So you can delve in and out as you want. But it's busy. There's over, in the actual WhatsApp community, we've got about over 400 people in the community. Not everyone's in the WhatsApp community. Not everyone's on the Facebook page. You pick and choose what you want to be involved in. But there's about, at any one time, about 200 people in the WhatsApp community. That's a big community, So that's why I recommend muting it. So anyway, there you go. So there's 2 ways to pay. You can pay £15 and then pay monthly £29.99 a month. Or you can just sign up, one-off fee. And at the moment, I've got a couple of summer deals on. So normally the sign-up fee is 30 quid and then it's £30 a month. At the moment, it's 15 quid and £30 a month. So you get a little £15 saving. Signing up to the 12-month payment, so you've got no monthly direct debits, you just one-off payment and you're sorted for the next year, right? Sorted till September 2026. Is normally 325 quid. Which saves you about £70 on the monthly payments. If you stuck with me for a year, you pay £70 more, right? There's another 20% off that. So you can pay 260 quid at the moment. Just one-off payment, £260, done. And then you've got me till the end of next year, till the end of next summer, till September 2026, right? Regular check-ins, access to the WhatsApp groups, access to my WhatsApp personally, continuous help. 260 quid one-off payment. A lot of coaches, for what I offer, charge you that monthly. You'd pay that monthly, right? I don't. It's for a year, yeah? Rachel, 958, good morning. Gemma, can I ask, how do you accurately track your steps? Watch. Get yourself a watch, right? So that is the best way to accurately track your steps. You can use a phone. Phones aren't very accurate. They're not bad when it's in your pocket, but I've had my phone's been sat on my desk this morning. Hasn't moved. I've moved. I've been in and out of the house. I've been in and out the utility room that we've got to do some washing. I've been to the car and back. I've put the bins out this morning. So I've done 1,065 steps. It's not a lot, right? But if I hadn't had a watch on, my phone wouldn't have registered those steps because it's just been sat on my desk. Yeah. So I recommend getting a watch. So I use an Apple Watch. You do not have to use an Apple Watch. You could use a Fitbit. You could use a Garmin. You could use a Samsung. Right? They all do the job. Yeah. Now, if you don't want to invest in anything like that, well, I would recommend investing in something like a Fitbit minimum. Right? Go on your local Facebook page now. Have you got a village community group or an estate WhatsApp group or Facebook group, flipping Hazelnut Meadows or whatever it's flipping called, Facebook page, or, flipping Thistleton Community Village or whatever it is, right? Or a work group. Has anyone got a Fitbit? I tell you one thing, there's more Fitbits in drawers in the UK than there are on people's wrists because they're quite cost effective. People seem to get them quite often. An Apple Watch is at least 400 quid. People keep them for years. I'm not saying there aren't loads of Apple Watches out there, but Fitbits, people seem to upgrade them quite often. So go on your local, if you don't want to invest, and you'll get a decent Fitbit for probably 30, 40, 50 quid, right? And it's worth the investment. Now, if you don't even want to spend that, you can just go on Amazon and get a pedometer, right? So you can get a pedometer that clips to your belt, pedometer that clips to your sleeve. And that can be an option as well if you're a nurse. If you do anything where you're not allowed to wear things, you can actually buy little pedometers. Oh, frog in my throat. You can buy a pedometer that'll clip to your belt. They're not quite as accurate as one that's on your wrist. Or you can just buy a cheap fitness watch if you want one, I use a Samsung watch, but I don't use half the features on it. Go cheaper unless you'll actually use it. Yeah, again, it's one of them. I have my Apple Watch. I spent 400 quid on my Apple Watch, but I tend to have an Apple. I keep it for 4 years. This is my third Apple Watch. They came out in 2016. I've had one from when they first came out. This is my third one. I think I'm going to get the new one in September. I don't really need it. Every time I get a new one, I'm kind of like, why did I bother? Because my old one did the job. But I just, for me, I'm literally like, if I buy an Apple Watch for 400 quid and I keep it 4 years, it's cost me £100 a year. I do use quite a bit of the bits and pieces on it in terms of, I use the workout features on it. I use the step counter on it, obviously. So I use it quite a lot as an activity tracker, and I use it for like a lot of accountability with my workouts and stuff like that. In terms of anything else that I use it for, yes and no. I do download my Spotify to it, so sometimes I don't take my phone out with me for a walk so I can listen to my little things like that. But yeah, if you're not going to use any of those features, you can just go on Amazon and get a cheap fitness watch that will track your steps pretty accurately. Yeah, so that's what I would recommend. If you can have something strapped to your wrist, that is what I'd recommend. Let me scan up. They're good for calls and texts if you get a more expensive one. Yeah, again, yeah, I do. I don't think because I have my Apple Watch, I've had it so long. I don't think I use it. I don't think I feel I use it as much as I do, but I do use it for calls. Sometimes again, I'll answer calls on it. It's not a cellular one, so that doesn't work when I'm out and about if I've not got my phone with me. But I use it for calls. I use it for messages, notifications, reminders. I use the timer on it again in the gym. I use the timer on it when I'm cooking, if I'm not using Alexa. So yeah, I probably use it a lot more. I use it for paying for stuff, double click, tapping. So I use it for paying for stuff. So yeah, I probably do actually use it a lot more than I actually think I do. But do I use half the features that are on it? Absolutely not. No. Probably not. But yeah, you don't have to invest in anything like that. Yeah, it's entirely up to you. The wife tends to text while at the gym. It's easy to text off watch when busy or at work. Do you know what? I've never done that. Have you got an Apple Watch? I've never texted off my watch. I never have done. I just read message. I use it like a pager, I suppose. Remember a page, the old school pager? Like, I've got a message, and then I'll go on my phone. Yeah, I've never texted off my watch. Liz, good morning. Michelle, good morning. Paul is in. Good morning. I love my Apple Watch. I'm getting the new one as well. Yeah, I've had mine. Like I say, this is a 7. So I've not had the 8, I've not had the 9, not had the 10. So I think I'm going to go for the 11. And like I say, I bought the original one, right? And then I had that about 18 months. I actually broke it playing squash. I tripped on the court and hit it against the wall, and it shattered. But I always used to have like the original sports strap, and then from doing that, I've always bought one of these like these. This is brilliant. This one off Amazon, like a utility one, and it's got like a hard casing around it, so it basically, yeah, you can smack it on the thing and it won't break. So I've had one of these. So yeah, I had the first one and then I broke it, took it into Apple, and the third one had just come out. So I bought the first one after about 6 months. The third one had just come out. I was like, I broke that, and they were like, yeah, it's 230 quid to repair that. I was like, oh, okay, but we'll give you 150 quid for it. And you can just put 250 to it and get the 3 if you want. Like, right, I'll do that. So then I got the 3, and I had that, and then I had the 3, missed the 4, missed the 5, missed the 6, got the 7. Now I've got the 7. I missed the 8, missed the 9, missed the 10, and then I'll probably get the 11. Keep thinking about getting the Ultra. I am tempted to get the Ultra. The Ultra's like 700 quid, isn't it, rather than 400, and it's got like proper stainless steel, and it's like and I never have it off my wrist. I don't have an expensive watch. I don't have, some people. I've got mates that have Apple Watches, but when they go out, they've got like a Tag or an Omega or Amiga or whatever the fucking goes. Or I've got a couple of bougie mates that have Rolexes, But like, I wear this. If I go to a wedding, this is on my wrist. Go to the gym, this is on my wrist. Go on holiday, this is on my wrist. If I'm in the pool, it's on my wrist. If I'm in the showers, the only time it ever comes off my wrist is at night time to charge it. So I am tempted to jump in and get an Ultra. I don't know. Hi boss, love the zip up jumper. Do you know what? I bought this. It's absolutely one of it. I saw a couple of content creators. Ignore the badge if you hate my team, but I saw a couple of content creators that I follow, that United content creators. Um, um, yeah, a couple of content creators wearing this top. I was like, I love that top. I'm gonna get it, and I ordered it in a 2XL in March, and it was hanging off me. It was way too big for me, and I just said to her, and I got it, and it was coming up summer, so I was like, do you know? No, it wasn't even March. I'm lying there. It was like May. It's like May, and I'm like, it's summertime. How often are you going to wear it? And I was like, so I sent it back. And it was on sale at the end of well, about 3 weeks ago. On sale for me, it was 80 quid, so it weren't cheap, but it was on sale down to like 50. And then I get 10% off because I'm a Man United member thing, so it's like 45 quid. So I got it in an XL, and even that's got a good bit of room. So we're well happy with it. But yeah, I absolutely love this top. It says, I'd love it even if it didn't have this badge on it. I just like the top. I just think it's a cool top. Anyway, there you go. No judgment, please, on my team. And they say, mate, batteries don't last forever. Go for the new one. Splash out. Yeah, and I think that's it with this one. Actually, the battery on this was disappearing, but that's because a new update come out with loads of new features. And I turned all those new features off, and the battery's absolutely fine on it. So I think I might go and get the Ultra one. And I think if I get the Ultra, I would probably keep that 5 years. This would last me another year or so. I know it would if I wanted it to. So if I invested in that one, I might get the Ultra. So I'll have an Apple Watch Series 7 if anyone wants one by the maybe in October. It's absolutely like brand new. It's like brand new. It's always been in this case. You can even have this strap because the new one's slightly bigger. So I'll even send you this one. So if anyone's after an Apple Watch, I won't want a lot for it. I have no idea what they're worth. 100 quid maybe, something like that. It's definitely worth £100. So that'd be cheap, 100 quid for an Apple Watch. So that works perfectly well, like new, right? Like new. Dozzy, good morning, mate. I have a Garmin watch, love it. The battery is amazing. Garmin's are fantastic. A lad come on the other week. I think he took umbrage with me because he was like, I've got a Garmin. I was like, no, nothing's as good as an Apple Watch. I was only pulling his leg. But I think he took it seriously. Garmin's are a brilliant watch. Absolutely superb. Really, really good. Garmin in terms of like, especially for tracking movement and stuff like that. They're absolutely fantastic. Can I send my check-in over tomorrow as I start nights tomorrow for 3? Absolutely can. Check-in day is Friday for my clients, but if you need to send your check-in over Thursday, even Wednesday, not an issue at all. Likewise, you can send it over Saturday. Apart from next week I am off work from Friday at 7 p.m. Why Friday at 7 p.m.? I am travelling we will be at the airport. We are leaving the house at 1 in the afternoon. We're going to go to Rachel's mum, catch up with Rachel's mum. Saying that we're going to Rachel's mum's on Saturday, so whether we are going to go and have a catch up with Rachel's mum, I don't know. But we might have half an hour at Rachel's mum's. And I can work then. I'm taking my laptop with me. And I will do a little bit in the airport if needs be. I also might do a bit Saturday morning, if I'm being totally honest with you guys, because we're an hour ahead in Spain, and I don't mind doing a little bit Saturday morning. But certainly from Saturday dinner time, I am signing off because we're going away for my birthday until Thursday. So I would appreciate next week if you can't check in Friday, check in Thursday. But I will probably do a little bit over the weekend. But this week, all good. It is all good. Send you checking over tomorrow. Sophie Miles, good morning. Let me scan up, see if I've missed anything. I don't think I have. I think I'm all right. Am I? I got mine, Amazon, £15, had it for a year. There you go. Yes, you don't need to spend loads of money on one. If you just want to think steps, you don't need to. Shout out to everyone in Thistleton. I know. The Thistleton posse. About 8 houses in Thistleton. I don't know why it popped into my head. It just did. Are you saying we chat a lot, Neil? No, absolutely not. I would never accuse anyone of talking too much. That is what we would call the pot calling the kettle black, I think. Anyway, there we go. I give up, Neil. Why are you giving up, James? No, you're not. What are you giving up for, mate? Right, let me scan up. I think I'm all good. I had the windows open for weeks and had to go around closing yesterday. It's changing. I said this a couple of weeks ago, and then we had a heat wave. So like, why does August feel like it's like we're properly into like we're moving into autumn? Like, and then we've had a right nice load of weather over the last week and a half. But it's still, even though it was really nice and sunny last week, it never felt hot. It was never like, oh, it's like we had a massive heat wave. Not up north anyway. It might have been down south. Gavin's in, morning, mate. What are the Zoom calls about? So the Zoom calls, they're not so we do a couple of different Zooms on plan. So on a Tuesday morning at 11 a.m., it's a weight loss coaching live. And basically, with a weight loss coaching live, I pick a topic and I talk about a topic. It's a little bit like a podcast, but just for the community, right? So yesterday I talked about stepping out of your comfort zone with the weight loss coaching live, but also with the weight loss coaching lives, you can ask questions throughout the live if you want to. So if a question comes in throughout the live, like in the chat feature, the weight loss coaching live is just me on the Zoom. There's no one else. There's no other videos available on the Zoom, right? It's just me. Yeah. But if during the live you ask a question regarding the live, so you might have asked something about stepping out of comfort zones yesterday, I'll try and interact with it and talk along with it. And also at the end of the live, I'll do a Q&A. There was one on yesterday, Q&A that was about half an hour. I'm just in the middle of uploading it. It's on YouTube. I upload them back. The Weight Loss Coach Lives, I upload them back to YouTube. So if you can't join the live, you can watch them back, right? Now, the Everything Weight Loss Zoom sessions tonight, that is meant to be an interactive live. So that is one where you can come on camera and chat to me one-to-one, right? So, and that's all included in the plan. You can just come on and ask any questions. You can come and give me a rundown of your week. You can come and talk about what's going on with your journey at the moment. Now, you can do that through video and audio. You can do it just through audio. So if you're not confident of coming on a video, or you're in the lounge with your family, or you're still in bed, or you've gone to bed early, or whatever reason, you can just come on and chat with me audio. You don't have to come on video like what we think of Zoom is. If you don't want to do video or audio, again, we have a chat feature, but it is just for people in the community. So there's not any outside questions coming in. So we can make things a lot more like angled towards being on the plan that I'm on. So you don't get people coming on and going, what do you think of Slimming World? What do you think of this? I mean, you can ask me that. You can ask anything you want. And it is everything weight loss. There's no holds barred. Anyone can come and talk about what they want. It's not a live that's meant, the everything weight loss sessions aren't designed for me to do a weight loss coaching live, right? It's designed and it's designed for you to come and interact with me, right? Through whatever format you want. What format you want to. So it's just something a little bit different. Now, on a Thursday, I don't do them through the summer holidays. I cut the live down. On every other Thursday, normally when it's not like summer holidays, I then do a second weight loss coaching live. I'm thinking of cutting that down to one a week now, just doing the Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock. And then on a Thursday, doing kind of like a cross between like an everything weight loss session, but a more Q&A based, and then giving you the opportunity like over the week to send questions into me, right? So for the Q&A. So you might have a bit of a generic question that doesn't need answering straight away, but I've just always wondered this. And doing that like every other Thursday, we used to do 2 weight loss coaching lives in a week. So thinking of doing it as like a Q&A. So, every week, I might get a question and someone might be going like, hey, I'm really struggling to track calories for a beef stew, like for 4 people, right? And I'll log that down, and then I might come on and do a bit of a demonstration of how I do it through NutriCheck or something. Do you know what I mean? Maybe just something like that. So at the end of a weight loss coaching live, I do a Q&A, but maybe do one that, and again, the everything weight loss session can be a Q&A. You can come on there and ask any questions you want to, but some people do like to just come on and just chat about everything weight loss, something a bit more generic. Oh yeah, this week I've struggled with my calories, I've done this. 10 of you can come on if you want to and just give a rundown of how your week's gone. A bit like I do my weekly weight loss vlogs. can be a bit like that if you want to, you know. So, and the floor's open to everybody. Anyone that joins Everything Weight Loss Sessions, they're just people having a natter. Like sometimes we get a couple of people on, sometimes we get no people on. You know, it just is what it is. Yeah. And so so I'm thinking of mixing up the Thursday one into something else that's there. Do you know what I mean? What do you use to track your food? See, so that's like, and which is now that's a perfect question for a social media live, because there's people that don't work with me. If you work with me, if you're on plan with me, you'll know what I use to track my food. What do I use to track my food? NutriCheck, best calorie counting app out there, right? It is. Some people go, no, it's this. Some people go, no, it's not. It's that, right? Any coach in the world, if they could have NutriCheck branded to them, they would use NutriCheck. You know, I've seen like Team RH have now brought out their own app with their own food database and this, that, and the other. If I could have an app, right, and I could integrate it with, I'm going to kind of ask NutriCheck this. I am at some point going to look at maybe investing in an app. I don't know. I can't really afford it, because to have a dedicated app, you are talking a few £100,000 minimum, right? To have a dedicated app where you've got a food tracker in there, an exercise, you know, you can link your steps to it and all this, that, and the other. I don't really need that. I would actually like a progress sheet in an app, if that makes sense. And I can actually, do you know what? I actually built one a couple of weeks ago through ChatGPT. Unbelievable. ChatGPT wrote me an app, right? Oh, it took a few hours, right? It took me a few hours, right? But ChatGPT wrote me an app where members log in. It didn't look great because it was just me talking to ChatGPT and then setting up the coding and this, that, and the other. But it was there, and I'm like, in 3, 4, 5, 6 years' time, AI will just write apps. It will cost a lot of jobs. But anyway, I would like my own app. But within an app, I don't just want a progress sheet app where you can, don't get me wrong, that would make it easier for me. And it'd probably make it better for you guys if you could just log into an app and just go, wait, and for me, it'd update your progress sheet. You can see it permanently. I don't need to email progress sheets out to you. Could update your graph on a week-to-week basis. And I'm looking at getting something like that done, and that'll only cost me a few grand to have that done, right? And I'm willing to invest in that. I can, I can sort that out. But I would like to have like a calorie app linked to it, where your calories are then linked into a progress sheet, so we can see your weekly calories and how they've changed, or daily calories and stuff like that. But again, to create a calorie counting app, it costs hundreds of thousands, million quid. It could be something like that, honestly. And you know, if you're NutriCheck and it's £2 a month, and you've got 250,000 on average, even though some people pay yearly, it's still a thing. You know, on average, NutriCheck get at least £2 a month, because if you pay for a year, it's £2 a month. You know, if you pay for it monthly, it's like £4 a month. So they get at least on average £2 a month. And if they've got, you know, 200,000, 100,000 subscribers, you know, they're earning what, 200 grand a month. That's £1.2 million a year. Right? No, it's not. It's £2.4 million a year. You don't mind if you've got an app that can generate revenue of £2.4 million a year. You don't mind investing £1 million to create it. I'm not at that stage. Does that make sense? So, you know, so many people have got, you know, I've seen other people that slate NutriCheck that use you know, they have a cheap app that's linked to their app. NutriCheck's the best. Right? It's just the best. And any weight loss coach or people that get their clients to look at their calories should recommend it. It's super, really, really good. So I highly recommend it. It's a very good app. Let me scan down. So motivating. Is that me, Karen? Or is that just, I don't know. I'm just going down through some things. Hopefully the weather is nice next week. Off camping and planning to visit Diddley Squat. Do you know what, Anna? Me and Rach were talking about that. it's our wedding anniversary in December, third wedding anniversary, and we wanted to go. Rachel went years ago with her friends when she was dead young, and she's always wanted to go back. And we were looking at going to Paris for 2 nights, right? And and do you know what? The flights to go for our wedding anniversary is 45 quid each, right? And we would literally just take a carry-on bag. We're going for 2 nights. It's 45 quid each. We found a hotel for a couple of £100. So it's literally like, it wasn't compared to like going to, if we're going to stay in a nice hotel in the Lake District, like with a spa, it's £400 for a night, right? And then you've also be eating out and stuff like that. It's actually cheaper to go to flipping Paris for 2 nights. Anyway, we're not doing that because we've decided, we went to New York last year, right? We went last April, and we loved it, but we only went for 4. We actually only ended up having 3 days there, really. And a lot of people were like, you'll need way more than 3. And we knew we would, but still, at the time, it was kind of what we could afford. And this side of it. Anyway, we're going back. We're going to go back to, we booked to go back to New York next April. We were going to go to Mexico and next April. And Rachel was like, no, I think we should go back to New York. And it's roughly the same sort of money, whether a week all inclusive in a nice hotel in Mexico. So we decided to go back to New York. But anyway, because of that, we've got 2 holidays booked, all paid for this year, done. We're like, no, if we end up going to Paris, 500-600 quid, we'll put that towards New York. Anyway, Rachel was still like, yeah, but we should do something for our wedding anniversary because it's on a Friday. And we want to go to, and I was like, well, maybe that's a good time to go down there because it'd be a lot. Don't get wrong, it's December, it'd be cold. It's not the best time to go. But I was like, because we love like Clarkson's farm and stuff. So we were talking about going down there. We will be camping, not in December. I've never camped in my life, to be honest with you. There you go. Uninteresting fact about the Real Lost Boss. I have never spent 1 night in a tent. There you go, in my entire life. So yeah, we were talking about going down there. But again, you start looking at B&Bs, and they said, should we go? And we're like, should we just go down for the day, get up early? Our wedding anniversary on Friday, so like get up early on the Thursday, drive down, go see Diddley Squat, go to the pub, check into a B&B, and then mooch about Friday morning, and then shoot back up at like 11 o'clock on our wedding anniversary, and then get back in and go out for a meal at night time. So we were tempted to do that, but I would love to go, really would love to go. I'm not part of your community, however, I do love to watch your free lives. Thank you very much. Everyone loves a freebie. And that's absolutely fine. I do my life. A lot of people ask me. A lot of people that are in the like industry. Why do you do so many free lives? And I'm literally like, well, that's how I build my business. They're not free. If that makes sense, I get something out of it because by doing these lives, people build up a rapport with me, they build up a trust with me, and then they, hopefully a percentage of you guys, like Gemma did yesterday, put your trust in me to be your coach, and then you do sign up. So, so that's why I do so many. And when there's not many situations where every single day, I'm on TikTok now, and I've got. The lives were always a bit quieter in summer holidays, but I've got 70 people that I'm talking to. I'm fully aware some of those people. And this is the best thing about TikTok. Your live goes out to the FYP. So there's people that jump on the lives that have never seen me before. And if you just get hooked a little bit, like, oh, I didn't, so that's the beauty of TikTok. The beauty of Facebook and YouTube is, I don't think the lives go out like on an FYP. So the people that are following me on Facebook and YouTube are my followers. But that is also a good thing because, again, that means, I've got 22 people on this the Facebook YouTube stream now. Let's have a look. So there's 4 on Facebook and 19 on YouTube. When I first started doing the triple stream, where I was streaming to all 3 platforms at once, I used to have 5 or 6. So that's now increased to like early 20s, and it will slowly build up. And again, it's people that are invested in your brand, and hopefully some of you will put your confidence in me, because unfortunately free lives do not directly pay the bills, right? But it's you guys that then eventually decide to join my community. And guys, if you don't want to join my one-to-one plan, you can just subscribe to my community, as it were. It's £5 for your first month. That's it. One-off payment, £5. After that, it's £9.99 a month. And there's no contracts. You can pay a fiver, come in, get a full calorie breakdown, get a guide to bossing your weight loss. You get a couple of PDFs from me for signing up, and then you can just interact with the community. And it's a great support network. It really, really is. So that's £5 for your first month and £9.99 a month. One-to-one coaching is currently £15 sign up and £29.99 a month. Or you can just pay for one-to-one coaching, one-off yearly payment, £260. If you want to support the lives, right, you can subscribe to my Facebook page for £1 a month. That's it, £1 a month. You know, I feel like I'm doing one of them adverts on, you know, Dave in the middle of the afternoon. But, you know, if you did want to chuck a little bit in and just as a little thank you for enjoying the fit, £1 a month, right? And it all adds up. It all goes into the same pot, all keeps me doing what I do. Right, let me scan up. Can do walking drinks, but not walking food. What's that? What the farmers? Johnny, you talking about the farmer's dog? I think. If you plan doing Clarkson's pub for food, book well in advance for a table. Yeah. Well, that's why we were discussing it, because we follow someone on like a food review guy on TikTok. Well, I do. And he went there and he said that because that's why I was discussing it with Rachel, like September, October, November. I said, if we're going to go, we probably need to look at booking like now. Like, don't get me wrong, we'd go like on a Thursday afternoon, which I think a Thursday afternoon in December is going to be a bit quieter than. But then I'm like, well, it's going to be Christmas, and because Rachel was like, imagine what they do over Christmas there. It would probably be amazing. So that's why we're possibly tempted of going, you know. Morning, just dropped my dog at the vet to be spayed. Oh, bless. Be absolutely fine. We had Blossom done in April. She's like, you talking about me? She was a bit groggy for 24 hours. And she didn't eat for 24. Well, we brought her home at like 2 PM. She didn't really eat. She was very groggy, feeling a bit sorry for herself. Obviously, just coming round from the anaesthetic and stuff. And then in the morning, on the Saturday, I was like, she's not eating, and this, that, and the other. And she was laid on the bed, like looking at me, like, what's happened, Dad? Anyway, I brought her in a bowl of chicken, and she wumphed it. And if a dog eats and drinks, it's fine, right? Generally, a dog's fine if it eats and drinks. And then 2 days later, I wanted her back to being post-op Blossom, because she didn't. I'm like, Blossom, and she's jumping on sofas, she's doing it. I'm like, no, you can't. She wasn't. I was stopping her, but she was trying to move about loads. I'm like, just had an operation, stop moving. But you're going to be absolutely fine. The sign up a monthly fee is the price of a takeaway, worth the change. Absolutely. And that's always been my philosophy with my one-to-one plan. I've always kept it like affordable. That is all. As soon as I started, and why have I always made it affordable? And basically, it's from personal training. So many people, like personal training, you're limited, right? You're limited with personal training to, 30 hours a week really is more than enough as a personal trainer. You don't want to do any more than that, right? Because you're up early, you're doing split shifts, and I was doing fitness classes at the same time. So I used to do between 30 and 40 hours a week as a PT. I used to get so many people that had messaged me and they just couldn't afford it. It's expensive, it's £30 an hour. And not many people. I was £30 an hour and you had to have 2 sessions a week with me. So it's £60 a week for personal training, £240 a month minimum. Not many people have that disposable income. Now, I was lucky, to be fair, that I worked in a gym where the people that are members of that gym, the majority of them do have quite a lot of disposable income. So I was always very good with clients, but I would get a lot of people that would message me that weren't members of the gym that wanted to work with me, and they couldn't afford it. And it peed me off, to be honest with you. But I've got to charge, I've got to earn a living, so I can't go, yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing, because you're on a bit of a budget, I'll do you £10 an hour. No one's paying the bills on £300 a week. And they weren't doing that in 2018. You certainly ain't doing that in 2025. So it peed me off. So when I started online coaching, I did want it accessible to everybody. I never wanted the finance to be an issue, and it shouldn't be. Certainly in 2025 for what I charge for what things cost. And like Dan said there, there are people. I get people, and this is fine. Like it happens, and I know people use money as an I can't, oh, I can't afford it at the moment, so I'm going to have to cancel. That's not a problem at all. They forget that they've added me to Facebook or Instagram and that I'm following them back. And 3 days after cancel, can't afford it. They've got 60 quid's worth of Chinese on the dining room table. I'd rather people just be honest and go, do you know, it's not working out for me, or I just want to go my own way at the moment. But it is what it is, But yeah, it's always been for me a real big factor of my coaching that price, and I think in this day and age in the UK, I know everyone's budgets are different, and I'm not trying to trigger anyone by saying this, but if you've got a weight issue, right, you're spending a lot of money on food, right? You are. I've been there. Now, you might be spending a lot of money on cheap food, but you're still spending a lot of money on food. You will save, my one-to-one coaching is £7.50 a week. You will reduce your overall food spend by £7.50 a week. Why do I say overall food spend, right? When you start eating healthier, which you do need to do on a weight loss journey to have a successful weight loss journey, you can still eat some what we might call low nutrient dense foods or more unhealthy foods, if you want to label them as that. You can still eat some of those, right? But when you start eating more healthy foods, fruits, veggies, lean proteins, eggs, yogurt, right? What you spend at a supermarket will go up, right? It will. Your supermarket bill week in, week out will increase. And it might increase quite dramatically, right? But what will come down quite dramatically is takeaways, Starbucks, meal deals, Greggs. People, what you spend on food a week is not what you spend in a supermarket. It's what you spend on everything that goes in here. When I was 37 stone, I probably spent 50, 60 quid a week at a supermarket, something like that, on food that was in my cupboards, in my fridge, in my freezer, right? And I used to probably spend £150 a week, right, on takeaways, fish and chips, kebabs, Chinese, meal deals, butty shops through the day when I'm at work, butty, pie, can of pop, right? That is your food bill. It's not what you spend at Tesco or Aldi. So if I'm spending £150 a week, right, on take £600 a month, and I'm spending 60 quid a week in a supermarket, right? My food bill was £900 a month, something like that, maybe £900 a month. When I first went to a supermarket, first weight loss shop, it was 100 quid. It nearly doubled from what I normally spend. And I was like, it's expensive, right? But it is what it is. What I didn't realize at the time was, my food shopping bill at Tesco might have gone from, say, £250 a month to 400, right? But what I spent on takeaways went from £600 a month to about £100 a month. So my overall food spend went from £900 a month at 37 stone to 500. I say £400. That was in 2014. That isn't in 2025, right? So weight loss will save you a lot of money on food, right? Weight loss will save you a lot of money on food, right? It will. Yeah. And it will easily cover. Now, if you're going to try and lose weight by still eating the way still having your 6 takeaways a week, I'm just going to eat a little bit less and chuck more in the bin, that's down to you. But like I say, I was spending a fortune on M&S treats. There you go. People don't understand, I've seen so many people that have met, like, a punnet of strawberries is 3 quid. I can get 3 pizzas for that. I get that. When you compare things like that, it does seem expensive. But tell me now how much money, because look, whether I'd like to work out the average price of 100 calories as an overweight person, right? So what I mean by that is, look, if you're currently 25 stone, right, even if you don't move very much, right, if you're 25 stone and you don't move very much, right, you're burning 3,500 calories a day, right? Easily. that means to maintain, if you're currently 25 stone and you've not lost weight over the year, that means you've eaten 3,500 calories a day, right? Yeah, consistently. If you've gained weight, if you were 25 stone 2 years ago and you're now 26 stone, you've eaten more. You've probably eaten 4,000 calories a day, right? Now, 4,000 calories a day, whether you're buying £1 pizzas or you're buying, and people that are 25, 26, 27 stone, and I'm not stereotyping. Well, I am stereotyping. I've been there. I know the truth, right? You're not just buying £1 pizzas from Iceland or turkey Twizzlers or buying Rustler's burgers, buying calorie dense food that's low. You will eat a lot of, you'll have a lot of coffees, a lot of takeaways, a lot of pieces of coffees and cakes in cafes. You'll have, a lot of McDonald's. A McDonald's nowadays is like, just for a value meal, £7, right? A KFC nowadays is £10, £11. We don't batter an eyelid about paying £11 or 10 quid on a box value meal, right? We don't even batter an eyelid, right? Whereas, we're complaining that a punnet of strawberries is £1.99 at Aldi. So it's you'll save money. You'll save money. But like I say, I've always set out with the business model of making my coaching or getting help from me in any way, shape, or form totally, whether it's just you tuning into what I do for free, whether it's just joining my community at £10 a month or doing my plan that's $29.99 a month. I think it's accessible to everybody. What is the main issue with not charging a lot of money, right? For coaching, you need a lot of people. You need to work with a lot of people. And that is the pressure that I need, I've got mates that are online coaches that are £200 a month, right? And they have 15 people. 15 people at £200 a month, £5 a month, right? 60 grand a year, right? Sorted, and they're happy at that, right? I need 150 people on my one-to-one plan, right? Or, I need 100 people in my community that are just paying for the community. You need it. So you've constantly got to drive business. But I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'll never change my philosophies. I'll never change it, right? So it'll always be affordable. Always. Yeah? Anyway, there we go. Mine's Mackey's, mixed kebabs and chocolate. Again, chocolate bars. How expensive is chocolate nowadays? You eat 3 chocolate bars a day, right? 750 calories. You're paying at least £2.50 for that, right? I mean, all right, I know you might buy a multi-pack, but again, do we just do that? Do we just buy multi-packs or do we toss? How many chocolate bars do people buy or bags of crisps when you're filling your car up at the garage? I know they don't have them at the front of supermarkets anymore. How many single chocolate bars do you buy? Right? Like I say, garage or your local corner shop. I see it all the time. I stood in my local corner shop waiting to post in every parcel. And someone stood there with a parcel in front. There's a queue of 2 or 3 people. And people stood there. And all they've gone to do is take a parcel. And next thing, I do it myself. Right? Chocolate bar. Can of pop. Right? Sean at our local corner shop has his table of temptation, as he calls it. He actually put it up in COVID, which is like a camping table in front of the where you pay, right? And it was to kind of bring social distancing in. And then he put a load of treats on this table, and he was like, "It's my table of temptation." And he says it's made me more money than anything else in this shop since I put it in there, because that's what it is. It's just there. He has beers on one side, and the amount of people I see that are stood that walk up to the counter and they'll go and put that on. Never went in there. He just went in there to send the ASOS back, right? All that is your food bill. All that, anything that goes in there, add it all up. Right? A lot easier nowadays. People don't use cash anymore, or very rarely use a lot of cash to buy things. Yeah. So if you're a pinger, ping, 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 go through your bank account. Don't add your shopping up for July. Don't add. Tell me what your food spend is. Next live that I do, tell me what your food spend is in July. Go to July. Starbucks, corner shop, Greg's, meal deal, yeah, Mackey's, right? Alibaba's for a kebab, Tesco, Aldi. Add it all up. That is your food spend, and that'll reduce because you can make, depending on how you're cooking,
But for £5, and we think nothing about spending £5 on bits, a couple of bars of chocolate and a bag of Haribos and a can of pop at your local shop for £5.60. You ping it, you think nothing of it, right? You can make 4 meals for that. Four very good, full of protein, full of fibre, good volume, right? Meals for that. You can make more meals. You can make 60, but I'm talking like £1.50 will make you an amazing, meal with chicken and veggies and, good stew or a soup or a spag bol. 500 grams of beef mince now is like what? $3.49, something like that, right? 2 tins of cheap chopped tomatoes, couple of onions. You should always have herbs and spices, and a full pack of spaghetti. £5. Right? You can make a really good spag bol, £5, £6, right? And that'll make you full pack of spaghetti is 125 grams of dried spaghetti. Right? That's a good portion. 125 grams of mince for 4 portions, quarter of a tin of chopped tomatoes, 50 grams of onion, bit of salt, bit of pepper, some herbs, bit of garlic powder, this, that, and the other. You've got a pretty decent spag bol. A few splashes of Worcester sauce. You've got £1.50. You'll have a 600 calorie, pretty decent portion of spaghetti bolognese for £1.50. Right? Thank you for entertaining and teaching me on my morning walk. Leanne, you are more than welcome. Gemma Downsey, I've got my daughter, 11-year-old, so I buy multi-packs and etc. so I can go ages without feeling the need to have anything. Then one night I eat a full pack, then feel like poop. So again, this is another thing. Let's talk about children, right? You're literally blaming you. I'm getting this, and I'm not going to go at you because people do it all the time. I've got an 11-year-old daughter. Why is it acceptable for your 11-year-old daughter to constantly eat chocolate and crisps, so you need to have multi-packs in the house, right? Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying kids should be deprived of chocolate and crisps. They can have chocolate and crisps. We do this a lot, right? Rachel's mum does it all the time. Like, she struggles to lose weight. She goes, well, I've got to have it in for the kids. Well, why do you need to have it in for the children? Why do you have to have that in? Because kids eat chocolate and crisps. Yeah, they do, but you don't need to have multi-packs of these things in just for the kids. What you're trying to say is you've got it in for you, and you're using the kids as a reason to have it in. Kids should be eating what you're eating. If you're eating a chocolate bar a couple of times a week, because that is fits in with calories and is a bit more healthier than eating a full chocolate bar every single day, your children should be following that same pattern. They should be eating the same, right? And so, and again, I'm not having. It's such a common issue. It's some common. My mum used to do it. My mum used to do it all the time. Kids eat crisps, eat chocolate. We used to have multi-packs of stuff in the house. I'm not saying you shouldn't have chocolate in the house, right? I'm not, right? I'm not saying you should have chocolate in the house, but there's no reason to have multi-packs of several packs of if you're like, yeah, well, I'm going to have a couple of bars a week. My daughter's going to have a couple of bars a week. My son's going to have 2 bars a week. And my husband, 8 bars of chocolate, that's it. And then once it's gone, it's gone. They eat it in 2 days, it's gone. Now, and like I say, I'm not saying, but there's no reason to have lots of chocolate and crisps in a house because you've got children, right? And again, you know me, I don't demonize any foods, right? You can have a bag of crisps every day, but the excuse should not be there. I've got all this in the house because I've got children. No, you've got it in the house because you want to eat it as well. I've been there, right? I've been there. So, and again, I'm not. I never want to be a preachy sort of. I'm not. I know the struggles with it, and I know, and I'm not telling you not to have it in the house, but we don't need. If you've got enough food, chocolate in the house where you could binge and go out of control, don't have it in the house. Shop a bit more, maybe inconveniently, right? When I first started my weight loss journey, I wanted to eat. I love crisps, right? And I love biscuits. They're my 2 things, right? Chocolate bars I can leave, if I'm being honest with you. I've always been the same, even when I was 37 stone. Biscuits, I was a fiend for, right? I love them. So when I started my weight loss journey, I didn't want to over restrict myself. I still wanted to enjoy some. So what do you class as like Twix? Twix is a chocolate bar, but it's got biscuit in it, right? And I love a Twix, right? Absolutely love it. Yeah, they're a match made in heaven, them 2 little fingers. Ooh. right? So what I used to do at the start of my weight loss journey was, because I knew I didn't have confidence in myself that I had the self-control at the start of my weight loss journey, that if I had 6 Twixes in the house, I wouldn't eat them all in one go. So I picked my treat nights, and my treat night for crisps and chocolate was Wednesday and Sunday, and I'd have a bag of crisps and a Twix, right? Or a picnic or a double decker. Those are my 3 go-tos, all right? If anyone ever wants to buy me a present, double decker, Twix, picnic. Those are my 3 go-tos, right? And on the way home from work, I'd nip to the garage. Not cost effective, right? I'm not saying it is, right? But the balance, I needed the balance. So I'd nip to my local shop or the garage or a shop, and I'd buy a bag of crisps and a Twix. And I'd enjoy it that night. And once it's gone, it's gone. And if I was craving it on a Thursday night, I couldn't eat it. It wasn't in the house, right? On a Sunday, I did that. I did that for about 2 months, maybe 3. I then got the confidence in myself that, you know what? Let's test. So on a Wednesday, I'd buy 2 bags of crisps and 2 Twixes. One for Wednesday, and the other bag of crisps was for Sunday. Could I resist? More often than not, I did. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I had them Saturday night, but if I had them Saturday night, I wouldn't have them Sunday. I'm like, you've had it now. That's it. It's gone. You're not having it. You're not going to buy it again. Eventually, I then got to a position where, I mean, when I used to be in my office, I used to show you my tubs that I used to have in my office, right? And I've got tubs of crisps and tubs of chocolate in the house. I've got tons of it, thousands of calories worth. And do I eat it? Yeah, but I dip in, right? I'll have a bit, and I'll have a bit, and I'll have a bit, you know. So you know, you will get to a point with self-control, but these habits that you've developed, that I developed, these bad habits of overeating, binging, restricting, you know, we don't want to pass those on to our children. And we need to educate our children that you can eat chocolate, you can eat crisps. There's no need to cut those out, but we need to eat them responsibly. Yeah. I think it's a warped sense of providing and don't want her feeling deprived just because her mammy's overweight. Though I suppose I could just give her money and she could go up shops with her friends and get herself something she wants. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I have to have it. I don't have to have it in the house. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, Gemma. And what I'm saying there is, I see it a lot. I see too many people, mums and dads, that have weight issues that blame having stuff in the house that they overeat because they need it in their house because their children want to eat it. And what's that going to end up? Your children ending up with the same weight issues. So your daughter will never be deprived if, you know, deprivation isn't having a couple of chocolate bars a week. Deprivation is never ever being able to afford chocolate in the first place, or, you know, saying to your child, you're fat, you're never eating chocolate ever again. That was the weight loss coaching I got at 9 years of age. And that is feeling like you're being segregated, you're being left out. But, you know, saying to your kids, look, chocolate is fine to eat in moderation, just like anything is, right? Anything we eat is bad for us at a certain level, including broccoli and peas. But to eat enough broccoli and peas for it to be negative to our health is a hell of a lot harder than eating chocolate, right? And it's things like, you know, we can eat chocolate, but if we're going to eat chocolate every day, right, it might be a Freddo. And then once or twice a week, we can have a nice bit of chocolate, a chocolate bar. It's amazing how many people, when I put like 100-calorie chocolate on social media, that go, well, that wouldn't even touch the sides. That's why we have an issue. You're not eating chocolate to fill you up. You're not eating chocolate for hunger, right? And if you are, then that needs to change. You know, when you're hungry, you eat something that's going to do the job. Have a yogurt that's got some protein in it. Have a protein shake. Make yourself some eggs on toast, right? If you are genuinely hungry, eat food that's going to do the job of filling you up. Chocolate and crisps won't do that. But there's also nothing wrong with eating foods that we just enjoy eating for the sake of eating them. There isn't. There isn't, you know. That's why we go out for meals. That's why we go for McDonald's. That's why, you know, you are eating, you know, if you go to a Michelin star restaurant and pay 60 quid for a main course, you're going for the experience. You're going for the sake of eating it. You're not going because I need to eat a 60 quid meal. I need to blow £60 on the fillet steak cooked by Gordon Ramsay. You're going because, it's just something you want to do, right? So, I get all these comments on social media. I did it yesterday. I put the protein cheesecakes on some guy. You'd be better off having yogurt and berries. Well, not if I want cheesecake, I wouldn't, Robert, I'm afraid. Like, if I fancy yogurt and berries, I'm better off eating yogurt and berries. If I fancy a piece of cheesecake, I'm better off eating a piece of cheesecake. Because if I fancy a piece of cheesecake and I go, well, I can't have cheesecake, I need to eat Greek yogurt and berries, right? I'm going to be very, very sad. And I'm going to sat there going, still want my cheesecake, even though I've had my yogurt and berries. And then you probably have the cheesecake as well. And next thing, you've eaten 900 calories when you could have just had a piece of cheesecake. There's 450 calories and suppressed your cravings, right? So I never get it. You're better off eating this. Well, better off eating what? Now, don't get me wrong. Are you better off eating? And then if we can eat something, those Mighty Slice cheesecakes, I'm going to try them today, actually. I've had a lot of negative comments, but I'm going to try them today. And a lot of people, whether they're good or bad, 115 gram piece of cheesecake is about 500 calories, and you will get about 4 or 5 grams of protein. Those Mighty Slice cheesecakes are 270 for 16 grams of protein. Now, am I expecting them to be like a cheesecake? Absolutely not. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near, right? But it's about, could they bridge the gap? Could I have one of those and go, do you know what? That's done the job just, right? And it saved me 250 calories, and it's actually going to help fill me up a little bit because it's got 16 grams of protein rather than 5, right? So it's about sometimes bridging the gap. Now, they've had a lot of, it's really dividing people at Mighty Slice cheesecakes. I've had loads of people, I've had people that are like, these are disgusting. That's a very strong comment. Whereas other people go, these are amazing. And it's amazing how different taste buds can be. Some people, and it depends how you're eating it. If you're eating it expecting it to be a piece of cheesecake from the New York Cheesecake Factory, then you're going to be, well, not the New York, Cheesecake Factory, you're going to be mightily disappointed, But if you're expecting it to kind of resemble in some mild shape or form a bit of cheesecake that's also a lot lower in calories and a lot more protein in, you might enjoy it. I don't know. I'm going to try and go with them with an open mind. Eat for boredom or out of habit. Yeah, very common, Gemma. And that's what we need to, we'll look into that obviously on planning, why you're bored. That's the honest thing. When does this boredom eating kick in? Is it mid-afternoon? Is it in the evening? And what can we do to distract the mind and fill the time for that? If you ain't got time to be bored, you ain't got time to boredom eat. And that's what we kind of need to work towards. But we'll get there, Gemma. You're not even on plan yet. We'll get there, Gemma. And Gemma, I don't want you to think because I've called out there about having chocolate in the house for your kid. I don't want you to think I'm directing that at you. I'm not. I'm directing it at so many people will have resonated with that. There is 60 people on the TikTok live. There's 20 people on the. Loads of people will be sat there going, I need to have loads of crystal chocolate in the house for my children. No, you don't. You really, really don't, right? You can have some crystal chocolate in the house for your kids. And it's a real thing. We were discussing this yesterday. Someone asked me about, do I blame my parents? My mum would buy a 12-bag multi-pack bag of crisps. If I polished that off in 2 days, day 3, there'd be another 12-bag multi-pack bag of crisps. Where were the boundaries? Now, we were lucky that my mum could afford to do that, but where were the boundaries? Where were there? There's a 12-bag multi-pack bag of crisps in the cupboard. Once it's gone, it's gone. I go shopping once a week, every Monday. So if you polish that off in 2 days, the next time you'll have crisps is next Monday, right? Where you taught to budget, right? Okay, well, I'll have a bag a day instead of 6 bags a day then, because I still want some crisps at the weekend. Little things like that. It's like, and there were no boundaries for me with food, right? And again, it is about finding the balance. If you're turning around to your kids going, you can't eat this, you can't eat that, you're never going to eat chocolate ever again because mum and dad's on a diet. We're never having a takeaway ever again because that's not my coaching style, right? It genuinely isn't, right? You know that, and people that have been with me know that. But it's about finding that balance. There's got to be some boundaries. Right? There's got to be some boundaries, flexible boundaries. That's what my plan's based on. Right, I've got to go. I'm still in the house with my kids and wife as they're type 1, but I have self-control. Well, again, there's always going to be different things. You know, look, if you've got a child that's type 1 diabetic, you need to have chocolate in the house. You need to have full fat Coke in the house. Why? If they have a hypo, you need something that can bring them back to life. Not back, you know, that's a bit extreme, but that can be the seriousness of having a hypo when you're type 1 diabetic. So again, 100%. But, you know, again, it's about having balance. You know, was the biscuit tin for me? I'd hide it, and when people went out the room, start eating them all. Yeah, secret eating is hard, you know. It took me about a year to gradually reduce Liam's access to snacks before he could reach calorie deficit. Yeah, and again, going cold turkey isn't the issue. You know, if you suddenly wake up tomorrow morning and your kids are like, "Where's all the crisps and chocolate gone?" Right? It's too much of an extreme. It's about introducing habits, you know. So it's about slowly reducing, slowly, you know. Oh, the cupboards are a bit bare. Yeah, we're not going to buy, you know. If you buy X amount, reduce it a little bit and just try and work on it. Like I say, Paul there took a year. A little bit different with Paul's situation, I think. I don't think Liam's mindset can be changed as quickly as maybe other people's mindset can be changed. So maybe it is a bit more of a softly approach is required. But I think that can be the same for a lot of people. You know, you've just got to kind of gauge it a little bit. But Paul, you've put that work in over a year, and look how amazing he's doing now. Look how he's changing his habits. So it just shows it can be done. And like I say, I think you face a lot more challenges than other people do, but you've done it, and it's working because he's doing amazing now. You know. Right, let me scan up. We've cut right down, and my daughter makes much better food choices now. Kat, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's about making more informed choices, but you've got to support your children to make more informed choices. And if you're supporting your children to make more informed choices, you should be leading by example, and that is certainly going to be a benefit for anyone's, you know, weight loss journey. I was pecking at 9 o'clock last night. Was a glass of water in bed. We've got to ask ourselves: are we hungry? Just because we feel hungry, are we genuinely hungry? And, you know, a tactic like that can work. I do it sometimes, you know. I just got to sleep. So I did it a lot on my weight loss journey. First year, the amount of times I went to sleep at 9:30 at night because I was fighting. I used to really overeat. I used to really overeat at night time. You could call it binging, but it was a very common habit. And I didn't really hide it. That's why I wouldn't label it binging. But a lot of night, 10 o'clock, 10:30, a lot of secret eating, I suppose. So maybe that is binging, right? And it was a habit I had to break. So if I used to overeat at 10:30 at night time, and again, these are things I did, and I didn't realize the effectiveness of them as I was doing them, right? So very, very common for me to overeat at night time. And more often than not, it was cereal and toast. I used to go downstairs, huge bowl of cereal, 4 slices of hot buttered toast. Tasted absolutely amazing. I'm not going to deny that. But it was always around 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night time. So I used to go to sleep at 9:30. Found faster, and I sort of found that at the start of my journey, because your body gets used to when you eat. Sometimes your hunger hormones can trigger just because of regular eating patterns, right? Regular eating patterns. So I found first few weeks of my weight loss journey, get to 10:10, I had a really bad sleeping pattern as well. I would, my hunger hormones would kick in. So I set my alarm one day for 5 a.m., right? And this got me into the habit of then going to the gym earlier. So I set my alarm one day for 5 a.m. and I went to sleep at about midnight, and I woke up at 5, and I got up and I was flipping knackered. Couldn't wait to get to sleep. And that night, 9:30 at night, out. Didn't need to worry about my hunger hormones at 10:10 because I'm flat out. I'm asleep, right? And that's when I got into the habit of getting up early mornings, and it's never changed. It's never changed. I'm wide awake most mornings at 6 a.m. and I have been for the last 10, 11 years. Sometimes it's from personal training. I used to start work at 6:30. Sometimes it's just through work, but I'm very much now, my sleep pattern is I wake up about 6, get out of bed about 6:30, and most nights I'm fast asleep for 10:30. if I'm asleep for 10:30 and my alarm goes off, or I just naturally wake up at 6, I've had 7.5 hours sleep. I don't need any more than that to function, you know? Right, I've got to go. It's been a great live. I think we've discussed loads of important topics this morning, which is why I don't mind it's run over a little bit. But I've really got to go. I need to go and get my barley cut. I need to do the gym, and then I need to get back for the doggies. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I think we've discussed some really... Sometimes I have lives, I'm just like... Sometimes I feel like I never want... Like I say, sometimes I can feel... I never want to come across as being preachy. I never want to be like that. But I think some issues really need highlighting. And I think some topics that have been brought up this morning are mega important and very, very common. So, yeah, thank you. And I never plan these lives. They only end up where they end up because of the way you guys talk. So it's ace. Anyway, I'm out of here. If you want to come on plan, TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram, click on my link tree. You can sign up to my link tree. Use code SUMMER50. That'll get you half price. Sign up, 15 quid for the monthly. Use code SUMMER20. That'll get you 20% off my yearly plan, 260 quid, one-off payment. You don't quite feel you need one-to-one coaching, but you'd like a bit of extra support, or finances are really tight at the moment, come join my community. Do you do gym programs on your online? There are 11 gym programs on my website that you can download. Now, if you come on plan, I will send you them. You can have them for nothing. Right? I have said that recently, and that goes to anyone that's on my one-to-one plan now. If you've not downloaded any of my gym plan, I know some of you have paid for them, and I appreciate you paying for it. Because when you're online, I charge $1.99. When you come on plan, I used to charge £2 for them anyway. Right? So I never charged you a lot of money. It was always just a little gratitude contribution. But I'm also happy if you want them, if you want any of my gym plans, you can have them. I can also set up, someone asked me actually the other week, it was Tina, and I will sort that out. It might be, I'll message Tina actually later on. Tina, I don't know if you're on the live now. She's asked for a little bit more of a specific plan. I can do you a specific plan as well to follow in the gym, but really for most people, what's on my website stuff. And you can, you know, if you sign up to plan, if you're listening to this live now, you sign up to plan, I'll send you the gym plans out if you come on plan. That's on there. You don't need to pay for them. I'll just send you a code so you can download them for nothing. Yeah, right. Pete, by the way, I think I've sorted that issue. Try and download that ebook again. But if not, I can email you directly, pal. All right. It wasn't an issue on my side, by the way. It wasn't nothing to do with what you were doing. But I'd appreciate if you could give it a go. And then it should work. Again, same with my gym plans, guys. There's a bit of an issue with my digital files online. If you've got any issues whatsoever downloading, please just get in touch and I will sort it out for you. Right, so TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, just get to my link tree. You can send over an inquiry form and I'll send you all the details, or you can just go into the shop in my link tree, click on monthly plan, yearly plan. All the details are on my website with the discount codes to get the sign up. So come on board and we'll get you going. Get you going Monday as long as you sign up today. Have a great Wednesday. If you are on Planner in the community, I'll see you at 8 p.m. this evening. So I'll see you in about 10 hours. Have a wonderful Wednesday. If you're not, I'll see you tomorrow morning. 8:30 a.m. We'll be on at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow again. Oh, that's TikTok done. Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, W2. I'll see you tomorrow if you're not on Planner in the community about 8:30 in the morning.